I've always been a big fan of CVEs, but this is kind of getting out of control. So I was scrolling through social media and I spotted something that kind of caught my eye, which was people are starting to get CVEs without actually working for them. If you don't know what CVEs are, they're essentially the huge database where you can upload vulnerabilities so everyone knows about them. Think of Log4j that has a huge CVE attached to it. Dirty Pipe is also another big one, but nonetheless, these CVEs give you credibility as a security researcher. I have 23 CVEs, other people have hundreds. It really depends on the person and how much research they want to do. So if you head on over to CVE.org, which is the MITRE now new official CVE website, they're deprecating the CVE.MITRE.org website, and you head on over to the keyword research, you can put in any sort of information. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in code projects. And as we could see, we have a bunch of CVEs associated. And something that caught my eye was this. It says the same thing for every single one of these CVEs. A vulnerability classified as critical was found in Code Project's online appointment booking system 1.0. There's a lot of these vulnerabilities. So if someone is CVE farming, this is what it's called. This is what I'm naming it. But this is not how you do CVE hunting. These code projects are from people trying to learn and understand how to program. These aren't real applications that people use on a day-to-day basis, which will be doing a video on in the near future, but I also have a blog set up which will be down in the description below. But this is not how you do it, guys. This is not something that a lot of us appreciate. If we head on over to it, we could see that it's just a bunch of random projects that are on version 1.0. People are posting these open source projects with little to no meaning. We have people now coming on, clicking on this bank management system Python with source code, quickly doing something into it, such as downloading the project, spinning it up on a LAMP server or a Linux MySQL and PHP server with Apache, spinning it up and then saying, oh, we found all these vulnerabilities. Of course, you're going to find vulnerabilities in these kinds of applications because they don't care about security. They care about learning and understanding the language, which is something that a lot of people appreciate. I want people to learn the language, and over time, they should also learn about security. That's the benefit of being a security researcher is you get to help these people advance, but not like this when no one uses this kind of product. Let's take a look at this user's profile. This user has a bunch of different projects. Let's look at the movie rental shop as well. It looks like this is also V1. So this person continuously creates projects and uploads them for people to learn from. You can download the projects, you can run the projects, you can learn the projects and understand them, but they don't really deserve a CVE. He's not maintaining anything. He's not trying to get clients. He's not trying to get customers. He's simply trying to expand his code base. He's trying to learn and understand how to program. It's the best way to learn. Now, if you want my opinion and how I normally do things, is you can head on over to GitHub. So let's go to github.com. Head on over to the search bar and put in stars colon, and then you'll see that there's a few options. We're going to do greater than 500. And we're also going to set a language barrier. So we're going to do language, and we'll set it to PHP, and I spelled language wrong. And then we'll also put something like CMS. And if you don't know what that is, that's just a content management system. And as you can see, we have a bunch of CMSs here on GitHub. Now, something you could also do is you could sort by and then click on recently updated. So you're not getting any of those publicly archived GitHubs. And we could see that there's just a bunch of random CMSs. So for instance, we'll take Craft CMS. With this, you can put it onto a LAMP server, and it looks like they just came out with a new version. And you can begin testing this product, right? You have the source code, so you can do white box pen testing, gray box, or straight black box. You just have to set it up. And some applications, such as Craft CMS, they do have a security.md file. If you head on over to security, it says right here, security.md, and they have a full security policy about what you have to do. So what they want you to do is they want you to go to their website or contact one of these two hotlines. Some people may want you to click on report a vulnerability. It depends on what the security policy says. But also be sure to read the scope, because sometimes if you don't read the scope, they're going to nullify what you say and they're not going to give you the CVE. Very important that you follow the scope. In this case, they want only XSS, CSRF, code injection, privilege escalation vulnerabilities, SQL injection, or session hijacking. And these are the list of things that they really don't care too much about. But these are impactful vulnerabilities, and I'll tell you why they're impactful. We can see here that the stars say 3.5K. So about 3,500 people have started this repository, and about close to 700 have forked it, meaning that it's gained a lot of traction. People like this product. People use this product on a day-to-day. So this is a product that I would go and I would try to do security research on. I wouldn't try to go doing security research on a product that has little to no meaning. There's no reason for this product to have a CVE attached to it. No one is going to use this product. Everyone's going to use something like Craft CMS. Just starting to spam and submit CVEs based on version 1s of code projects, and another big one I think is called SourceForge, if I'm not mistaken. This is another big one that people are going after. People use AI to make these products. Of course, there's not going to be security. Now, maybe AI has created something where it may be a little bit secure, but for the most part, there's going to always be some form of vulnerability within AI code. It's just natural, right? It takes and strips all data from Google, Bing, the Internet Archive, and it creates that product based on what it's gathered through what it's researched. So seeing people post CVEs, I understand that CVEs can definitely boost resumes. It can show that you're doing security research. You can have a great reputation, but just don't post these kind of CVEs, because CVEs are really meant to show impactful vulnerabilities associated with products that are being used on a day-to-day basis by end users, not by someone who's trying to create a simple shopping cart 1.0. Like, what does that even mean? What are we doing? You know, what are we doing? And another big one, for the record, please do not post a CVE about a vulnerable web app that's intentionally vulnerable, like the damn vulnerable web app, or DVWA. We saw that a couple of years back, and that was a bit weird. The cybersecurity community ended up actually rejecting that CVE, and MITRE took it down because of how crazy the CVE was, where they basically tested a vulnerable web app that has vulnerable in the name, and they showcased it on a CVE. And so they found a vulnerability within the damn vulnerable web app, which wasn't really true because it's meant to be vulnerable, and people use it to do security research and learn about web vulnerabilities, such as what I'm teaching here at Emory Security. So please don't do that. I'm begging of you. If you do want to get a CVE, I'm going to go through a much larger tutorial about how to submit CVEs, how to look for CVEs, what to do, what not to do, some tips and tricks about how you can get and obtain your first CVE, but that's going to come later down the line. But if you look at all of these kinds of V1 products, if you will, I don't even want to call them products, I want to call them projects. If you want to look at all these V1 projects like the job diary, what is that? What are we talking about? What is going on? The voting system 1.0. Like, I've never seen something so crazy, but you could see that someone is posting so many of these CVEs, and this person's probably putting it on their resume that they found a ton of vulnerabilities, which they did. I'm going to give them credit. They did find vulnerabilities on projects, not products. So while the employer may be interested to learn more about the CVE, they could say that they did find an SQL injection. They can say that they did bypass authentication, yes. But when it comes down to crunch time, with these kinds of projects that people are working on, whether it be through college or just trying to learn in general, they're not looking to do security. They have no interest in security. What they're trying to do is they're trying to learn the fundamentals of how to program. And when they learn how to program, then they can go into the security aspect and understand how security works. These projects are not meant to be secure. Now, they could be a great starting point for, let's say, a college university trying to learn a little bit about web application security. Having applications like this that are damn vulnerable are great. And if you're trying to learn web app security, I strongly encourage you to go to these sites, create a LAMP server on your desktop or your laptop, and go in and see what vulnerabilities you can find. Write up a dummy report, post it on LinkedIn. People want to see that you're doing security research, but don't post a CVE about it because it's not supposed to be secure. This is just someone goofing off, having a good time, learning how to code, but you're stamping a CVE that doesn't really matter all too much. No one's going to use these products. If you want to get a CVE that's impactful, wait until my next video about CVEs because I'm going to walk you through how you can find impactful vulnerabilities on products that matter. Not these kind of products, but products that matter that you can put on your resume and you can be proud of. I did this with one of my buddies where him and I both went on a scavenger hunt to find a CVE, and he obtained his first CVE with me because him and I were looking at the same application and we were going through the same stuff, and we identified the CVE together. He published it to MITRE. MITRE gave him a CVE number. He published it to the real world, and voila, he has a CVE that's impactful because people use the product that he has a CVE for. And you can find CVEs on other platforms too. It doesn't have to be open source. It can be on proprietary software. You just need explicit permission. A CVE that I can think of that is a little bit quote unquote proprietary is the recent Fortinet CVE that just recently came out in July. So if you look it up, there was a critical unauthenticated SQL injection on FortiWeb, which essentially is Fortinet's application. And by doing so, they were able to retrieve data, again, unauthenticated, critical, and it's a scary vulnerability. But I would say that this is pretty impactful because this is a product that people use. This is a product that had a very scary vulnerability attached to it and that people should know about. But if we head on back over here, people don't really care all too much about a code project that was created in a college class called Simple Shopping Cart 1.0. People don't really care too much about that. To say the least, all I'm saying is if you want to find CVEs, do it the proper way. Go to my blog in the description down below, learn about CVEs, understand how to find CVEs through that blog, and when you do find a CVE, let me know in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy this video, please let me know in the comment section down below. Yeah, but anyway, I hope you did enjoy. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.